What's
Ah,
up?
you.
What's up?
Hey, man.
Welcome to Hex Foodies Telegram group live stream on YouTube. We do this weekly on Tuesdays at noon Central U.S. time. Somebody got a dog in the background. Who's that?
Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Cool.
I think she saw Hillary Clinton again. But she thinks she saw her. She always gets worked up.
Hey, do y'all want to introduce yourselves?
I'll go after Finn.
Well, let me say real fast. Let me tell people. This group is about regenerative land practices and regenerative body practices. Let's say that. What's up, Morton? How are you?
Hey,
Morning.
Thanks for
I'm
joining
good.
us.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
You wanna introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Morten. I'm in Norway right now. I live part-time here, part-time in Zanzibar. Just started building a community in Zanzibar. I think it's right here, so I'll show you the easiest way. I guess this is so. Yeah, it'll be football court and tennis court and bungalows and a stage formed as the HEX logo, and community to inspired for creative outlet, studio, music studio, video studio, coral rock pools, and just to for the community and for anyone and everyone, really.
And Zanzibar, as I understand it, is an island that's north of Madagascar.
Yeah, northwest. So it's like under the equator, East Africa.
Stellar.
So it's-
Somebody's got
so
a
it's
lot of
summer
background
Summer all year round.
Summer all year round. It's great weather. 1 month of rain, on and off. And that's about it.
It was you, Finbear. You've got a lot of
background noise.
machinery background noise.
Yeah, I'll work on it.
Cool.
Sure, I'll go.
Yeah.
Hex Dragon or Sugar Dragon. I'm in Austin, Texas, and I do personal development work. Coach about 50 different Hexicans, and also regenerative development. So, putting together proposals. I'll be presenting at the Hex conference, and I'll be presenting a proposal for a new way of doing land development and investment. Which, in short, that looks like. Oh, he's gonna go. Hey, Josh, will you mute yourself? Thank you.
I muted.
In short, a team comes in. We create a layout of the land that's installed regenerative systems, and then we lease out specific parts of that land for development for agriculture, residential, commercial, and industrial. So it's a full system, and it's a regenerative system, and it will be compatible. So I'll be presenting with the angle of this being for Hexicans, so we could have a hex-based economy if we want. But it's really a scalable model for how we can live in the new paradigm for regenerating land and creating abundance for everybody. One of the other things I talk a lot about is consciousness development and how there's these different stages of consciousness that we go through. And our societies are tailored towards very specific states of consciousness, and they actually are not compatible with other states. For example, spirituality is not supported in most cities. You end up homeless. You aren't taken care of. You reject money for a period of time. And we've seen that throughout history. When like the lowest state of consciousness is like the authoritarian state or the religious state, where you look to authority for what to believe. And when people started leveling up to ask questions, to think objectively and scientifically, it could be literally death for thinking differently. And now we're at the stage where we're absolute meritocracy, and science is religion. and there's not room for higher states or even lower states now. It's like you have to be like here at this Goldilocks zone, or you have a lot of trouble existing in society. And what's exciting is beyond spiritual, there's a stage called teal, and that is where you actually integrate all 4 stages into one. So you can hold 4 perspectives at one time. And creating teal societies or integral societies is where I see our future being. And that there's a place for everybody, wherever you are. And by having a place for everybody, it makes it easier for people to see other perspectives and level up. And I think it can create peace and abundance for humanity and the planet.
Wow,
That's
that was
awesome.
Yeah, that was really in depth. Appreciate that.
That's so exciting. The whole, so you're creating a framework for this that you're going to present on the conference. Can't wait to listen to that, man. I might be very interested in what you got to say, and I want to learn from you for sure.
Excellent. Yeah.
Very cool.
Hey, Josh, do you have a set of headphones so that we don't hear your voice twice or our voices? So you're muted right now, and I'm trying to unmute you. Okay, there you go.
Sorry, I'll throw on some headphones. Yeah, my bad.
Cool. And I don't know if Finbear is wanting to get back on. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing. I don't think anybody's commented on YouTube in the chats. I would appreciate if somebody would do that so I can understand if my side's working well. Somebody commented in private. Oh, Finbear says camera rug pull, basically. So I saw Hex Dragon on Friday, right before the Crypto Starbuck workshop over at the JW Marriott in downtown Austin. And it was a really good workshop, and those guys have been in Austin all weekend, and they had plenty of OG events and regular Hexican events. And then yesterday afternoon, they went down to San Antonio. So they're down on the walk of San Antonio today, seeing that place for the first time. If anybody doesn't know, right now there is the 5555 road tour going throughout the United States. They've done 40 plus cities, and I hate hearing reverberation. I could have managed our screens better. Hey, Finbear, do you want to just come on and allow your mic? I see that New Zealand Hexican Chief, he is now chiming up. That's awesome. I'm glad to see him in the chat because I've been worried about New Zealand. Josh, will you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
I can.
Okay. Yeah. I think this show is really cool. I recently found out about it. I grow fruit in Massachusetts, kind of like a hobby, part-time job, and into crypto and Hex. So,
cool.
I grow the weird stuff. It's like a 1 acre, growing on about 1 acre. You know, the kiwi berries, pawpaws, currants, mulberries, blueberries, stuff like that.
I'm going to do a test real fast. Can y'all hear me? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some echo.
That's my fault then. It's my computer taking on the microphone plus my microphone taking on the microphone.
Man, we're getting everything.
We can hear you, Finn.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Check.
Yeah. So previously you heard my webcam's microphone But when I switched off to my regular microphone, my webcam had an existential crisis and decided to like completely rug out on me.
I feel like the stream should also, in the description, have Finbear's technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Almost every stream you're going through something.
Yeah, there's always something. And I had an awesome background picture for myself and everything. It's a freaking shame. Morten, you have to tell your mom, not now, I'm on the internet, mom.
Yeah, can you hear that someone is calling?
Yeah.
That's weird. How? Why?
Somebody else has feedback also. I'm still gonna guess it's Josh.
I think it's Davin again.
Oh.
You need to put the cancellation thing on from the audio settings when you come into the room. Now it's like better.
What do you think now?
It's nice.
I'm still hearing doubles.
I'm not hearing doubles, but I had technical difficulties too. So
I'm hearing double.
A lot less though.
Oh, maybe it is me.
Yeah, if Josh is the only one not hearing double.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'll head out. It's to say hi to you. I haven't been too active in the Hex community, so.
Well, it was really great meeting you, Josh. And when you get your mic figured out, I'd love to have you back.
Yeah.
All right.
And spring is on the way, so I suppose you'll be planting plenty of stuff in the near future.
Yeah, mostly perennials, but anyway.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Welcome to Zanzibar if you want.
We appreciate you, Josh. Thanks for coming on. Sorry for the difficulties.
Don't be a stranger.
All right. Peace, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
So is it because of my setup that we're hearing double?
No.
No, often it is if somebody has another window open where where YouTube is open, and then another window for StreamYard, and then there's like a 5-second delay or something, and StreamYard picks up the delay because it's longer than what it's sort of set up to be. So basically, if you have these echo problems, you need to make sure that you don't have a YouTube link open on another tab or something by mistake.
But now it's good, right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
more than likely that's what was going on with Josh, but he just didn't.
Good deal.
Didn't just pinpoint it yet.
That was driving me insane because I thought that I was doing something. And running the live stream is not the easiest thing.
It's pretty easy.
Right.
It might be for you. Ancient Earthways, thank you so much for commenting in the chats.
I'm trying.
So, hey guys, I was like a minute late to getting to the stream because I was onboarding somebody over at a coffee shop in the town next to me, and I realized why it is that Kareem says bang bang. It's because that's the sound that your mouth makes whenever somebody talks to you about how they're understanding Hex and how they're going to take the chance and they're going to stake it out for 5555, and they're going to watch their portfolio for a little while and they're going to become a part of the community. Yeah. That's what bang bang means.
So that happened to you now before the stream?
Just before the stream, yeah. A guy, he wanted to have coffee, and so we met at 9:30 for coffee, and then I vacated at 11:30. And so that was a really good occurrence. He had been a little bit into cryptocurrency, so he already knew a little bit of how things work, and I had all the resources just right there, and I've got the machine gun mouth right now in order to distribute the information. I think Hex Dragon just rug pulled us, and I'm not sure what's going on with Finbear, and then Somebody's hitting me up on, God, I'm getting all sorts of onboarding interest. How about yourself?
Very good.
Are you
Yeah.
reaching out in your local community? Are you having successes? Are you having issues? And I'd like to also hear about your relationship with your parents. like that sounds weird, right? But you said that that's family property down there.
Yeah.
Because right now you're up north, but every once in a while, like here in a few weeks, you're gonna head down there, right? And you're gonna be there for a few months, right?
Yeah, exactly. So with the onboarding, I tell all my friends mostly. I try to like take the temperature and kind of get a feel if they are interested. I've been, the art of listening, and just try to get a feel of if they're actually interested or not. And then I'm playing around with it with the people who are not. They're too busy-minded to even you can say something, it'll go through both ears. So I think there's something to be said about busy-mindedness, and it's so easy to onboard people who are not into crypto and or just a little bit, and then and they are open and listening attentively to you, because and then they'll actually hear the facts and it'll make sense for them. Whilst if they don't have an empty cup, then it's a tougher one. So I met some challenge online. I posted it on Twitter when I tried to onboard some people on my Facebook, and you meet resistance. And I don't know enough. I feel I don't know enough to counter argue everything. I've just learned from my friend who made a bunch of money in Hex, and it just makes sense to me, but I can't necessarily reiterate what I'm an intuitive person, so I can kind of like I go with my intuition even in investing, etc., and it just made sense. So then I just follow that, and apparently it's working. So it'll be still a learning curve for me to have good counter arguments for people who have a full cup of knowledge when it comes to cryptocurrencies. But it's definitely a journey, an interesting adventure for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm finding like the more we develop the community and the more we get our terminologies right, because we migrated from talking about interest and we're talking about share of inflation now, right?
Yeah.
So as we continue to do that sort of thing, I'm developing the capability, I guess, just the clearness of thought in what we're all a part of. I'm loving it. It's freaking awesome. We're creating a currency that rivals national currencies. We all believe in a truth engine, and we submit our value to it, and we all vibrate to the same frequency because we all agree with the same thing. So we can easily come together. Egos don't get in the way. And if they do, people find themselves flaking off here or there,
It is really that it makes you see that everywhere, and what you said there about kind of vibing on the same frequency, I was surprised. I came in here and I was just literally writing a presentation of a volunteer trip that we're going to arrange to get people to volunteer in Zanzibar. And then I'm writing, like, obviously, what's the obvious problem? What's the obvious solution? And going through this like copywriting checklist that I have, and then the big why, right? So I kind of like worked on seeing, understanding, and kind of describing the big why. And then Hex Dragon here, when you started talking, it was like you have the vocabulary kind of almost like you expressed what I was trying to write in my sales letter, and it's like, yeah, it really is frequency. It feels like that we are coming together. Some people in fear of sounding very woo, it almost feels like there's some like chosen, some people who can kind of see this now, and then people who are just like blind. And I've seen that in other type of insights and in my life and paradigms in my life earlier as well. It's like you can tell someone that they're kind of, you know, that their experience is created from within, for example, but they don't really hear it. They're just like, yeah, and continue in the matrix.
Yeah, we have to we have to program our minds, and a lot of people aren't ready for certain information. I had something else to say along that, but I forgot it. I'm experiencing brain fog lately.
Are
I
you
can go
eating
back
sugar?
to. Sorry?
I was asking Davin if he's eating sugar.
Ah.
Got a cinnamon roll right here.
So sugar
Guilty.
and gluten cause brain fog.
Ah. Huh.
Yeah, like consciousness is so bizarre because we don't remember when we had the shifts that we do, because we continuously, when we look back at our past, we think we always had the same consciousness, but we didn't. We remember from our current state of consciousness, not from where we were. So we rewrite our stories every time we think about them.
So true, man.
And yeah, creating the spaces for people to level up is a real big challenge. It's absolutely possible, but I think what's more important is having compassion and being able to recognize where people are at, because it's not talking down to people, it's talking at their level. And to being able to tell the difference between that is really important. It's kind of like IQ also. And I love that, like Maddie Allen always talks about, take your 369 omegas and you can increase your IQ by 10 points. But a lot of people aren't aware of what a 10-point increase in IQ really means. It literally means a doubling of your intelligence. It's not a 10% increase, it's an actual doubling of your intelligence. So when Richard Hart talks about his IQ being about 140, he's not 40% smarter than somebody with an IQ of 100. He's 16 times smarter because it's logarithmic. And these are like significant hacks that we can go through. And coming back to consciousness, like we have to be exposed to certain information for certain times and have certain pressures and literally have like breakdowns to break through, where we're just like not resonating, we're having difficulties, something happens and it causes an actual shift. It's called like an avalanche effect in the brain, and your brain will just like rapidly rewrite itself, and then all these new connections happen and you think differently. So yeah, be able to create spaces where we can have experiences, where we can enter like flow states also. There's just like so much cool stuff out there. And I want to bring this to light to Hexicans, because I think so many Hexicans are normal people who some know some of this stuff, but many don't know any of this. And you see certain people who suddenly have wealth and they are still living normal lives, and they don't know what they're missing out on. They don't know how bad their food is. They don't know what that cinnamon roll is doing to their brain. I
hear you. Keep preaching, man.
Yeah. But
and hey, SJ in the chat, good to see you here.
But I'm super excited to connect with people like you, Morton, who have projects also that can have really big impacts on our communities, and to be able to streamline our language and to bring in more knowledge and intention to what we can create. And my hope is creating a network of these communities around the world, so that way we get to experience different cultures also. Like I've realized I spent way too much time in Austin. I haven't traveled enough lately. And I recognize I'm feeling very comfortable here, and I even don't want to leave now. I'm like, ooh, like that's an edge now. I used to travel all the time, and I haven't. And it's important for us to get out of our comfort zones. Otherwise, we stop developing.
Yeah, good point. Me too. I think a lot of people have gotten comfortable during this pandemic.
Let's see. Have y'all been experiencing synchronicities? I've been experiencing a lot of synchronicities, and then alongside, or Hex has to do with this. People I'm being united with, and then just things falling into place. We're all here because we've experienced some sort of abundance that makes it to where we're capable of being here, right? Or at least that's why I'm doing this live stream.
Yeah, for sure. Been experiencing a bunch of them, and lately as well. A lot, especially the last 10 years, I'd say. Obviously on and off. We forget and we remember, and we forget and we remember, I guess. So on and off, but definitely lately, yeah. And this you contacting me and finding my video, and then
I just found your video on YouTube.
Yeah, and then
I was
Hex
like,
Dragon
oh, this guy's
now.
a Hexican.
Yeah, and then you speaking the thoughts I had literally an hour ago. That's just 2 quick examples right there. But yeah, definitely, I've had people coming to my table. Like, this is just gonna sound crazy, but when I got this vision, like I said in the video, it came to me on the airplane. And when I was down in Zanzibar, I was sitting on the table, and literally there's like investor just comes in to the restaurant, literally sits down on my table and starts asking me about what I'm doing there, and then wanting to invest in it. Like, what? And then yeah, obviously Hex, and because I've realized I need a lot of funding to make it happen.
Now, did that investor see you playing with the kids on the beach and things like that to know that you were like a warm heart in there for a purpose?
Good question. I don't know. I honestly don't. They were there for like 10 days. It's my friend's bungalow or like apartment cafe place. They walked into there, and there were 3-4 other people sitting at other tables. It's like a longer, bigger table, so it's like optional to sit more people there, I guess, but still a little bit unusual.
So
I feel like,
go ahead.
Sorry. I feel like when those things happens in life, there's like this intuitive perspective, and it's kind of like life just happening the way it should, based on this whole thing being an illusion or whatever. And then there's always this like logical justification or explanation that's available too. So I guess there's a logical, more intellectual explanation of why he came and spoke to me. But yeah, I guess it just happened.
Can you tell us about the community that's down there, or the city, the town, that, because you're allowing people to contact you and get involved and plan a trip over there. What are these people in for? How are you going to connect your property to the existing community that's already there? And also, like, what's the demographics like?
Cool. So I have to go a little bit back in history to give a what's it called, premise, or a so my mom took me and my 3 older sisters there when I was 10. Fell in love with the place and bought a plot on the beach, and then she sold everything, her house, her boat, her car, and then we bought a Land Cruiser, put a tent on the roof, and then we drove from Norway all the way down to Zanzibar when I turned 15. It was an amazing adventure. It kind of shaped me into the person I am today, I feel. And so they moved to Zanzibar for 10 years, 9 years, and I've been there on and off on vacations and longer vacations, visiting since I've been a kid. So the community there obviously means a lot to me, and what inspired me to just come back and do this is the way they live on Zanzibar is very like island life, island boy, very island life, and laid back. Mañana, mañana, queso, queso, pole, pole. It's the typical sayings. It's like they're very relaxed, very down to earth. But the key is that they live very in tune with nature. So everything feels very natural. I always walk barefoot, and there's always time, I feel, which means a lot to me. For me, it's a healing place to be. And then they had bought this. So they bought a plot on the beach. They lived on the beach, but then they bought this bigger plot, like 10 minutes from the beach. Long story short, they moved to Portugal. I took over the place and I bought the bigger plot. And then the vision came to me. So I just want to create a place, a space for grace, for insight, for self-exploration, a playground for everyone. Literally, what my dreams would look, and have that be a value-creating community, a space for everyone to come. And there's so much like music that everyone's an artist in Zanzibar. There's so much music coming out of East Africa. I believe Africa is the future in many ways. And I guess the long-term vision is to delete, just delete poverty and poverty and poverty. And there's something called like they have debt, right? The states in Africa have debt to Western states, a lot of them, which is all bullshit, right? So the ultimate goal is to do that. So that's like the end goal. And then taking it back, I think that attention is valuable. So I want to bring attention to Africa. And my way of doing that is to create this like dreamland, where we can arrange festivals and events, and then at some point start branching out to Africa and then just get more attention on Africa. And I believe that will create value in the sense that we're just laying up, giving resources, or kind of like putting the emphasis glass on Africa, because the potential and the creative power and the expression is already there. So I just want the world to see that in Africa. So that's like to take it from this big thing and down to this. It starts with just a bunch of bungalows where people can be, a communal kitchen, football court, tennis court, sports facility like MMA stuff, campground, bow and arrow range, and there'll be a track there for quad bikes, and there'll be a golf like range, and obviously agriculture and permaculture stuff, basketball court, outside cinema, and stages, and then studios, so artists can come there, create music, create podcasts, and shoot some hoops in their breaks, and then facilitate good equipment, and obviously co-working space needs to be there. For the creative potential that I see my friends there, they're beach boys that I've known for 25 years. They just like asking another tourist if they want to go snorkeling, and they smoke a joint. Like, come on, like I know what they want, because sometimes when we're having fun together, I see their potential and their creative potential, and the artistry that's down there is amazing. I want to merge that with kind of like the best of the Western world and the best of the African world together.
Cool. Let me reference the chat real fast. Marcavelli, good to see you here. Please explain, why did you give us the hashtag #TShareFOMO? So you wanted to say something, Hex Dragon, probably?
I have a few things I want to share with Martin. So once you finish, I got notes.
Nice. Yeah.
Cool.
TShareFOMO. Okay. So in reverse order, one thing I noticed you're talking about with creating the space is you listed a lot of Western competitive sports. And I would encourage you to also look at cooperative sports like rock climbing or other things that actually are like a team building effort. Not because a lot of people who aren't naturally athletic, they're really turned off of sports because they aren't competitive in that sense. So you can think of cooperative sports where people are actually helping build each other up. That can be really powerful. My favorite sport that I learned in Austin is called acro yoga or acrobatic yoga. It's a partner activity and you're just flowing with each other. It's beautiful. It's really challenging. It's really connecting. You can have men and women playing together, men and men playing together, women and women. It heals the gender gaps. It lets people learn how to work with different bodies. It's super creative. It's really beautiful, really connecting. It gets down a lot of these physical barriers we have, and also you learn a lot of conscious communication and how to state your boundaries with another person, because you are literally supporting another person in these activities. And it's so fun and so beautiful, and it builds a conscious culture. So think about the culture around the sports, because a lot of these sports are super competitive and divide, but there are sports that actually bring each other together and build.
Good point. Yeah, I've done some of that in Venice. I used to live in California. And I agree with all of those points. It is fun and very cooperative, and you learn a lot about boundaries and body and communication for sure. Yeah.
And it's inclusive. You have people who brand new, never done it before, playing with an expert, and they like to share that with each other. You don't have basketball. Like basketball is no fun if you've never played basketball before and you're playing with people who are like really good at it.
Yeah.
So think about like the culture you're trying to create and bring to a space.
Yeah, it's actually a challenge, because I feel like I travel so much, and I feel like I have so many different cliques. You know what I mean? Like there's one clique, you have that kind of vibe, and then there's other clique, and and I want to bring everyone together. So yeah, definitely good thing you kind of like maybe more conscious of that, reminding me of that. Yeah. What kind of culture do I want there?
Yeah.
I'm ready to play some sand soccer on the beach.
Ooh, I love volleyball too. That one's really fun.
Yeah, volleyball's important.
The other thing that you talked about, so I spent a lot of time at university, and I studied physics for a while, and quantum physics is really interesting. You were asking about like, well, how are these synchronicities coming together, and how are we manifesting these things that we want? How are we attracting people? And quantum physics and resonance or frequency answer those things. Literally, our emotional state, when we are liberated from our jobs, we're choosing what we want to do, we're actually happier, and we're literally vibrating at a higher vibration, and we attract similar people to us. So like the three of us being together, we have a lot of similarities, and that's not by coincidence. It's actually by like universal design, so to speak, is that we connect really easily with each other. We're vibrating at a similar frequency, so it makes it very easy for us to relate to each other. And like the way we receive feedback is that we're very open to that, as opposed to a lower vibration where you like start defending yourself. Like, no, this is like whatever. Like you know exactly what I'm talking about, because you feel it. And that's also how we manifest, is when we can be at this higher vibration, we can attract the law of attraction. We can attract more things that are going to have us feel this way, as opposed to if we're having a really bad day, the day keeps getting worse because we're stuck in that lower vibration. So being conscious of that is very powerful too. And that's part of like the abundance mindset coaching that I offer friends, is to be able to shift their perspective or shift their vibration back to a higher state so that they can keep manifesting. Because if you if you're in a state of scarcity, you will create more scarcity in your life. So even if you get rich with HEX, you will lose it somehow if you're in a state of scarcity or a mindset of scarcity.
I want to know how readily available is fuel on this island?
Fuel.
Fuel.
It's relatively it's available. Like there are gas stations. You mean?
Yeah, and propane and
Yeah.
fresh food already. Food systems already set up.
Yeah. Yeah. Food
Okay.
systems. What do you mean? There's no like Chipotle.
I'm just asking, you know, like
Yeah.
what does this place look like?
Yeah.
Like what's the population? How many cities are on the island? I saw that there was a population facing the mainland Africa, and then your area is not far from the coast on the Indian Ocean side, right?
Right. Right. I think the population is between 1 and 1.5 million on Zanzibar. There's mostly villages. There's one city. The city is like with narrow roads, and it's really like booming lately. So a lot every year is there's so much new every single year. There's no McDonald's or Starbucks or any of that, but there are like local alternatives in the city and in the villages. No, they're starting to be a little bit more. There's a bunch of restaurants, and they're starting to get a little bit more, like, what should I say, Western-minded or faster restaurants, or like in that cater to hipsters, travelers, or whatever. But in general, yeah.
When you fly in, what does that look like?
When you fly in, you probably think it's an island with ghettos.
I'm sorry.
And beautiful island. No, beaches.
That was my terminology. I was trying to ask, like, do you fly into one particular city? Do you have multiple places where you can fly in? Do you fly into a private airport?
It's one airport on the island.
On the
in
entire
city.
island.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And is this a country, an island nation, or is it a part of the mainland country as well?
Both. So it's an ongoing, not argument, but it's depends who you ask. But if you go on Wikipedia or something, it'll probably say republic or state. But yeah, there's a history there. Yeah.
Here's something I want to. This is going to be a really interesting question, I think, in our community. Are you going to allow people to have portion ownership of what it is that you're doing? Are you going to divide it up in the future? How is it? You know, this spawns from you talking about right now, like maybe some governments claim this area that you're about to develop.
Yeah. I haven't landed. I don't have the answers like for that. I'm open, really, to ideas, and what a great comment, by the way. Yeah,
sorry to put that up while you were thinking. I apologize.
Yeah, I know.
And then it's over there blocking Hex Dragon. So Hex Dragon. I'm sorry to speak for you, but Hex Dragon talks about trusts, setting up trust funds, and so encompassing the property trust funds, and then other people in this group talk about outright ownership related to the human being. I don't really know how to describe that. So that's a constant ongoing thing. Like I was having a conversation on Sunday evening after one of the Hexican parties that was down at Casa de Luz in Austin, up against the river, kind of. It's a great live food kitchen and convention space that we were able to rent out as Hexicans and have a private band. It's freaking awesome. And so I was having a conversation with one of our Hexicans. What does he go by? He goes by Dr. Kindle. And so he was asking, like, what do you think I should do in this certain scenario? What does this sound like to you? What sort of risks am I taking? Because he's currently living on a piece of property where there is a metal building that's got an apartment upstairs and an area where you can park an RV. But he's wondering if the land around it, which is like 5 acres or so, would be better used for a trailer park environment or a tiny home environment. How would you divide that stuff up? Would you make it to where like you could tokenize the gathering of these people after you create the land trust? Then do you tokenize it? And then he himself was already in the mindset of like, well, I'm going to have at least 51%, so that the majority rules in the voting rights. And I told him, my friend up in Montana, Paul Wheaton, who is trying to create this eco village out on his property that he calls Wheaton Labs, Wheaton Laboratory up in Montana, outside of Missoula. He's going to say dictator of the thing, and he's going to make it to where these are these set rules and everybody has to abide by them. And the rent price right now is pretty cheap, but he sort of like increased it recently. And some people are like, well, I don't want my rent fluctuating, and also I'm building this community, so why are you charging me more rent for something that I created?
Yeah, I have a strong feeling Sugar Dragon have some thoughts around this.
Yeah, spread some sugar. I need more brain fog.
I definitely do. So Paul and anybody who wants to be dictator of a community, they're going down a known path. It's a known path where that's going to end up. And it doesn't end well. No dictatorships end well for the community members. I mean, you can really leave it as simple as that. But
yeah, but what about? Okay.
Real fast, Morton. Do you have sharks in the water in that area?
Outside of the coral reef.
You have a coral reef that protects the area.
And every time there's a low tide, 2 times a day, you can walk out like a kilometer out to the sandbanks in the crystal blue Indian Ocean. It's amazing.
I was thinking that Zanzibar meant sandbar.
Yeah,
that's like a sandbar. Yeah. Okay. By the way, I want to talk more about the
go back to your
African also in Africa. Yeah. Like I want to do a lot of that, helping regenerate land there. And it looks like there's actually good spaces even in Zanzibar that have been kind of like tilled and need regeneration. So I was looking at some maps, but when we are creating a community, the number one reason we see communities fall apart is leadership. It is someone who thinks that they know what they're doing when they don't, and they try and impose their rules to make it comfortable for them and uncomfortable for everybody else. And they start exploiting everybody, like charging the people who are building something more to live there. Well, if they're building and you're not paying them, what are you doing? You're taking more of their money for yourself. It's literally being a landlord or a king or whatever. It's very selfish, and people don't want to give to that. So you end up shifting away from community towards slavery. It's very common that landlords move towards systems of slavery where they are not paying the people who are doing the work there. They're taking advantage of them and trying to take more and more from them and then make them disposable. And then you lose the sense of community, you lose the sense of security, and people end up leaving. So what I say is okay if you want to make money on the land you have, but you need to be honest about it. And we have models that work much better than community models. I think profiting on a community model is unethical, and it's disingenuous. If you want to make money on people living on your land or whatever, call it a neighborhood, turn it into a development, rent it out. And that's actually the model that I'm advocating for, is one that people can rent homes. Communities self-organize. There's no forced community at all.
How long is the lease?
I'm looking at offering very long-term leases.
100-year?
Yes. Cool. So multi-generational leases are available, so people can build and then have that long-term security. But also, you can build something and then lease it out, Airbnb it out, for example, and then having certain rules in place, like, for example, property management. There's going to be like an HOA. So it's going to be standard of living. It's going to be maintained on the property that is paid for by everybody who lives there. And there are ways to make it work. And we know those models that are there, and you just be honest with it. But when you have one person that can change the rules on a whim, that's not a place you want to be. Right. It's not fair. It's not fair to anybody living there, because what you're saying is, if you're like, I need to have 51% control, what you're really saying is I don't know what I'm doing, and I want to be able to change my mind on a whim and fuck everybody else.
How would you do it if you were me?
Hexy Bastard says,
yeah,
the fucking thumbnail, boys. So like, it was Island Boy. All right, go back to conversation.
It's such the thumbnail is such open for
it's such Finbear humor.
Yeah, and we're like only white guys.
He did it. I just had to honor his diligence. You know, whenever somebody whips out paint and draws on it, you know. Back to conversation.
Martin, will you ask your question again?
Yeah, I was curious to hear what you would do if you were me.
Well, Martin, will you ask your question again?
Yeah, sorry. I was curious.
OSR for
Go on.
Ancient Earthways commented that OSR had a type of council change of the group. Or in charge of the group. Oh, okay. I thought he was saying that they had a change, but it was council in charge. So OSR is one of our field visits that we did in Utah right after Vegas. It's majority Mormon. They're out, and so there's an underwater river or several rivers to tap into. So they've got plenty of water. And it's just an interesting thing that this group has been watching from a distance. You can find them on YouTube. They have a channel.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can have councils. We know a lot of different governing structures that work. Like, and it's just when you do something like a dictatorship, I mean, that is one that works, but you need to be honest with it. Don't call it a community if you're a dictatorship. So I would want to see more of what your project is and how you want it to work, and how the funding is coming in. Those are really important things to know, because a lot of times, like, communities come about because it's people who want to build stuff and they want a way to cheaply live or whatever, and they're looking for a certain demographic of people to identify with community, which are kind of like the hippies, people who don't have a lot of money, people who are willing to do a lot of work for free or trade. That's what we typically see when and we think about when we hear community. I don't like it that that's what community has become. As I think that we have all types of communities, but you need to look at what is it that you want to see created there. What kind of vibe are you going for? Is it something you're trying to bring new connection about? Are you trying to bring awareness to something? How would what your vision is be best managed? Who can hold your vision? Would it be a council of people who have different perspectives? Would it be different investors who are trying to profit on different activities that are happening there? What are you trying to build? If you're trying to have everything being built from natural materials locally, and you want to have workshops and stuff, then I mean, more of a community model might work. If you're open to experimentation, or depending on how much land you have, you could have multiple communities happen. Like, you have a lot of options. It's just kind of figuring out what your end goal is and being really clear and honest with what your vision is. And do you want to be in charge of that? Or do you want to just be the brainchild of it and then let it live without you?
Yeah, I feel like my role is I like an idea was given to me, or a vision, and then I'm planting a seed right now, and then I want the bird to fly, you know, and I don't personally. I like to live a very easy, simple life, and I'm happy with, you know, traveling around, or like I just need a bungalow and a skateboard, you know what I mean? Like it's just so I would more love to see, like, you know, a community. I don't have to be a No, yeah. So I'm thinking, is there a way that or ideas that you guys have, like okay, so there's someone does it with the council, okay, that sounds good. Maybe I feel intimidated by all of the financial stuff and paperwork, etc. So I don't want to do any of that. I'm the kind of guy who gets an idea, and I am very good at speed of implementation, and I'm a campaigner, ENFT type of guy, so I throw shit out there, and then visionary, and then the rest kind of what I hope and try to make is that this will grow organically or semi-organically. Yeah,
That's what I was going to ask you, is what kind of personality are you?
Yeah,
because I myself, I know that I'm have no energy towards certain things.
Right. We're getting older. I'm learning about myself, so I'm realizing, like, I've started a gazillion projects, and some of them very successful, and a bunch of them not. And I'm good at starting stuff. I'm good at engaging. I can sell. I can transfer an idea and emotion, and which is a powerful superpower. But there's a bunch of other superpowers that I know nothing about. So I have this one lady who's teaming up, and this German guy who I pay from my pocket to manage the building. So I pay the builders and literally paying all of my money. Like, now I'm scraped. I bought at the top. I bought Hex at the top. So I'm like, what is it, 60% down or something? But I actually getting more. I've never been in a position where I've lost so much money and been so confident in an investment ever. So it's all good.
That.
Yeah, but obviously, there's dry season on the cash flow right now, so it's going very slowly, but finishing up the first bungalow, hopefully within a month or two.
SJ says she resonates with your disposition.
What's the disposition?
Of buying at the top and then being so confident. It says, I love to start things and engage others on what I'm passionate about.
I think disposition is more like your energy and your knowing yourself, like your ENFT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think I would spend some time and maybe visit some other communities and see what feels good for you. Because there's a lot of ways to do it, and there's a lot of ways to do it wrong also.
That's a great idea.
And find what you really vibe with and just copy that. And then as you learn more, maybe make subtle changes to it. But like, councils seem great, but like, I lived in a community and the council was based on seniority. And that is a way to maintain the status quo.
Seniority?
Seniority, yes. The people who were there the longest had the power.
Oh, okay.
So all the elderly people.
Okay.
And it became a retirement home for them. They exploited everybody else. It was very unfun. It was not a fun place to be. So yeah, it's like, on paper certain things work, but then in practice different. So you want to look at the lifestyle. Like, what's the demographic you want there? What kind of vibe? I mean, when I was younger, I thought like a community that was run by people who were between the age of like 25 and 30 was the council. So you knew when you turned 25, you'd be on the council. You had 5 years to be there, and then you were out. And but like, you were still part of the community, so you had to really think about. So you had to learn, like, what was it like before I could be part of this? How could I have made that better for myself then? But also planning ahead. Like, I don't have power anymore. How can I make sure that I'm taken care of moving forward?
Yeah, because there's like, exactly. So there's two thought streams, narratives that's gone through my head. And one is like, I just want to be able to, like, have, like, Joe Rogan talks about, why don't we have like everyone votes on every decision politic, and you make some kind of voting system that everybody votes on everything, which that sounds like a utopian, awesome way of doing it. I don't know if it works. And then there's the other one, like, I don't want to bother with anything. I just want to make a bunch of money through Hex, and then I'll just pay the workers to create this fantasy land that I have in my mind, and it'll be awesome. And then when it's built, I can just open it up for everyone. And then that sounds also very like simple and easy. I don't know.
Well, what I lean towards is what also I'm seeing in the comments is that I'm not for hard structure. I'm about spontaneous, self-organizing communities of people coming together on problems as they see them and solving them with the resources to do it. Not having to have a hierarchy telling people to do stuff, but being like, hey, we want to have a space for acro yoga. And like, all right, who wants to come together and make that happen? Great. Now they make it happen. You don't have to go through a council, have to vote on it or anything like that. Voting is about maintaining majority control.
Right.
And voting then creates these in groups and out groups. And that is where you end up having racism and sexism and all these other things, because you have a group that's going to do what's in their best interest and oppose everybody else. I'd like to have things that everyone can participate in, whatever their age is. But it's fun to play the games where you challenge things like, well, what if it isn't seniority based? What if it is only 20 to 25 or whatever gets to make all the rules?
Right.
Or maybe you have it where the 7-year-olds make all the rules, where they're in this perfect ideological state and they don't have this life experience.
Well, ever since I learned that Native Americans had it to where, or certain ones had it to where their tribe was run by the elderly women, the grandmothers, the people who understood the lives that they gave birth to and how they're going to interact in the future, but only whenever they graduate to being a grandmother, then they can look with such perspective back on the whole. And I guess it's the respect issue that everyone has for that mother figure that keeps them in line and has them, do what it is that's good for the whole. I've always loved that idea ever since I heard it, probably right after college.
That's so beautiful.
It is.
Yeah. They have the best interest for their family. They're thinking for the future generations. Not like a rich man who's like with no kids, who's like, I just want to go down hard. He's like, I want to.
Power is my number one value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because the grandmother energy, it's wise. Yeah.
It looks like SJ is interested in buying some land right next to an intentional community.
And the friend who introduced me to Hex also is, and I can probably make that happen if he's talking about Zanzibar.
I would love to have. So one of my intentions is I want to create another YouTube stream for actually what we're talking about right now. This is more focused on like health and regeneration. We need to have one for building community and having a space. So I have a nonprofit called Regen Trust, which is a regenerative land trust. And the intention there is to provide land for building communities around the world. And these communities can be operated all different ways. I have zero interest in how you choose to manage your community. The land trust ensures that you are doing it in a regenerative fashion. And then you gain all kinds of tools and resources to support you in being successful with regeneration. But the social models that are chosen are created by the people there, and to learn from each other and being able to explore these different ways of living and find out what's best for us. Because at different stages of life too, we're going to want different things. And so having that freedom to move allows us to be excited by that. So I want to start a channel, maybe now is the time for going more into community development and also like community building. And that's what I want to talk in a large part about at the HEX conference. So
nice.
I've been approached by many different Hexicans who've had similar ideas who want to use their resources for this.
Yeah.
And I think that it is such a big undertaking that it's not realistic to do on your own or even a good idea. Because there's so much we don't know. And to have the support of our community and each other to be able to help each other be successful in this and learn from each other would be invaluable.
Are you going to be on the stage at the conference, or are you going to be live via Zoom?
I'm not certain. I believe I'll be on stage.
Cool.
I'm going to be at.
Yeah, dude, do it. Go there. Be on stage.
I have
live,
2 tickets, by the way. I have an extra ticket, so I got a spot for one more person if the right person reaches out to me.
Awesome. You hear that, Hexicans? Do you know SJ? I'm pretty sure that SJ was who I met on Sunday evening at the Hexican party at Casa de Luz.
I wish I knew about that party. I had to leave early and I missed all the other happenings. I'm really disappointed.
I'm really surprised you didn't hear about it because Hex Farmer like threw it. He put it on, and Chris, I don't know what his handle is, but Chris helped create the thing. It's over there at their hangout and right off the river there in downtown Austin.
Yeah, I actually might have. I just had so much going on, but my mistake. I want to be better about attending all these things. Like, I love our community, and I really want to have us have more intention, and to balance it out. I'm bringing in a lot of women, and that feels like the balancing we need. But there's just so many.
You're forking our stream.
What does that mean?
Hex Dragon was saying, well, like maybe this is the time for me to create this whole new content route, right?
Yeah, good.
So,
what would be a good number of community members?
Okay, that's a very interesting question that has a long answer. The short answer is between 6 to 12 or 60 to 90 or like a lot. And it depends on how you want your community to operate. If it's people who are like really close together and doing a lot of personal development stuff, you want to have like a small group. If you're trying to have like a sustainable community where you have different jobs and stuff and different groups kind of like working together towards a similar mission, around 60 is really good. You can look at like Dunbar's numbers for like resonance of it's not just numbers. It's actually a guy who took his work to the next level, which is finding where groups resonate really well. Like about 6 people, a group works really well. At 12 people, the group falls apart. About 60 people works really well. Like between like 90 and 120, it falls apart. And there's these resonances that happen where you have really good synergy and then a lot of dissonance. I'm interested in creating very large communities, like thousands of people. And I would actually call them more like neighborhoods or even small towns or villages, where then the community is self-organized. You have enough people there for communities to self-organize around different interests and not feel like they're isolated, but they have like health in common, for example. So creating spaces for those communities to naturally organize, that feels a lot healthier for me than creating a community that has a hard rule. Like, we are about science and only this. And then suddenly you have a spiritual awakening. You're like, well, shoot, this community is not for me anymore. Instead, it could be like, we have so many people. Yes, 5555 is probably the right number for our Hex community. Thank you, SJ. We will do 5555. I'm serious. I think that's perfect. And
hey, everybody, please like and subscribe. This is Hex Foodies Telegram group in view. Go ahead.
So the reason I'm leaning towards larger, but with a common theme such as regeneration, is that people can come together around their interests and they have an opportunity to create community within this space. So I want to make a canvas for community, not the community itself that people have to be a yes or no to. So what that means is that and you could come in and be like, I have this idea for like this like athletic community with all these activities and stuff. And like, great. You create the space for that. You find the people who are here who want to do that, and more people might get attracted to that also. And that helps the larger community, like the 5555 community, because you have a focus on health. But then we have like an area for like maybe success or like personal development or whatever, and people come together around that. And now you have multiple communities you can participate in. This is what the benefits of a city are. So I'm looking at creating like very intentional cities And in that space, we co-create and we bring our gifts there, and we see what people want, and people can gravitate towards us, and we fulfill our own needs in a way that we want, instead of it being like, well, we all come together at 5 p.m. for this, at 7 p.m. for this, at 9 p.m. we all go to bed, where it's like super structured and controlled. Instead, it's more organic and natural. So
Ancient Earthways says the idea of community and numbers has, of course, been around since we evolved. USA started as an experiment to break away from a king. The Mormons left the USA to live in Mexico in the 19th century.
Yeah, there's so many ways to do it, and you have to acknowledge that many of these ways worked really well. Like, Mormons are very strict in many ways, and they create something that works for them. And if you don't like it, you can leave when you're 18.
And I think down in Australia, the age of becoming an adult is 16, maybe. I don't know. Like what is it over in Zanzibar? Where can you have legal rights?
I actually don't know.
Well, cool, guys. 1 hour and 11 minutes we're at right now. So
Good
let's
number.
just let's wrap this up and say goodbye and save it for next week.
Quick thing before we leave is would I be able? I don't know the technical. Would I be able to like stream this stream on my channel as well? Is it possible?
You can copy the
next
same
time?
versions of it.
Was that you
Are you
copy
saying you want to host it, or
not just to get more views and to share with my followers?
So this is being live on YouTube. So after we're done with this, then you can download it from YouTube and then repost it as a new video for yourself.
Right, but not live. No.
It's already happened.
Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that.
Okay, but I'll do that.
I think are you asking to host it live next time, like for the next stream to have?
No, I was just curious if it was possible to stream the live on multiple channels.
I think so.
I think I would have to have, because I'm hosting it off of StreamYard, I would have to have your information, your like password, and say that's a second channel for myself, and then so I could stream it. Yeah, because I'm able to stream it to Facebook separately. I'm able to stream it to my other YouTube accounts that I've already got set up in there. Think about that a little bit further. But I wonder if you're a video editor, if you could take portions of this after you download it, cut it up, have fun with it.
Do you need my seed phrases as well?
There was this funny banter that was happening where Papa B and a bunch of the other guys were starting to tell each other, in the live chat there on Telegram, like pulsex.com Telegram group. They were back and forth telling each other, is it okay if I do this? And they were saying all the bad things that like make their stomachs drop. So they're like, yeah. And then take a screenshot of it and send it to all my friends so that if I ever need it again, in case I lose it, then they'll have it, or like write it down on a piece of paper and then give it to my kid to take to school, because like, what could happen there? Like, just funny stuff.
Thank you guys for the invitation, and awesome meeting you, both of you. I really appreciate meeting you.
Appreciate you joining the little niche community that we have here. Everybody is able to grow from this space. Hexican Chief, New Zealand. Hey man, how's it going? Glad you could make it right before we finish.
Oh, right on time, mate. Right on time.
Yeah, I used to tell people I'm late, but always on time.
That's right. A wizard is never late. Not that
right
I'm a
in
wizard,
time.
but
I wasn't trying to mention late. I second guessed myself even saying that. Welcome, man. How have things been going on down there? Before we end the stream, please give us an update. Oh, you got
busy as hell.
I'll finish.
Sugar
See you all.
dragon.
Peace.
Okay, good seeing you.
Thank you, man.
And so
Okay.
go ahead, Chief.
Oh, no, I was just saying it's been extremely busy. I haven't seen you guys in before New Year's, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy
right.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and all of that other stuff. If you celebrate Christmas,
Indeed.
do you?
Yeah, get together with the family at the very least.
Yeah. So we actually had a Hexican meetup at my tribal lands over the what have been last
maybe
month.
like the 12th of January, I believe.
January. Yeah. So the, four of the admins turned up from our HexikiWi community group.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. So it was awesome, and we had like all the kids. I should put some photos up, but I better get permission from the rest of the tribe. But you know, I'm a little bit naughty like that. I'll just post things up and ask later. Gets me in a bit of trouble, but what can you do? A lot of fun doing it though. Yeah. So there was Peace, Wolf, and Hex Wolf, Peace, and Coconut. They traveled, like one of them traveled from Wellington, which is about it's short. It's only a 2-hour flight, but from Wellington and then Auckland to Coromandel, so 2-hour drive to my beautiful place, the tribal lands, I call it. That's not actually accurate using that description, but it's the closest one you can get with the English.
Appreciate you
as we say, it's Whenua Tipua, or it's really hard to translate from one to the other because the concepts are entirely different. Can be. Hey, what's up, Ma? Is it Morton?
Morton. Yeah. What's up,
Morton.
Chief?
Hey. Well, how are you connected to old Davin here?
He found my video online, and I'm building a community in Zanzibar.
Zanzibar? Where's that?
Zanzibar. It's in Africa.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the Indian Ocean side of Africa, much further north than Madagascar.
Okay. Is that where you grew up, Morton?
Partly. My parents lived there for a decade.
Okay. Where's your accent from?
Norway, or I lived in. But apparently I speak. Norway and I guess American. We learned like more English British in school here, but I guess my accent comes from being in America a lot also.
Oh, okay. I get distracted by all of those bloody comments.
Yeah, sorry. Chief, Ancient Earthways wants to know if you're going to do an interview with Tom Campbell.
Wow. I forgot about that. Sorry. I got so busy that the commute, the what is it called?
We're here to remind you.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I'll get that going. Far out. Sorry. It's just been
I need to catch up.
So bloody busy.
I need to catch up with our Hexican Benjamin Mutton that's over there in Navajo Nation. I need to catch up with the contacts that he's been feeding me. I got in touch with one of the Navajo organizations and asked about like what if I gift them some 555 steaks, 5555 steaks. Let me talk to the treasurer. That would be, a nice little gift in an appropriate place if it's respected, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we should catch up. We should catch up about it.
Yeah. one of the things that I'm interested in doing is identifying the disenfranchised communities around the world because of colonization, and going to them and showing them Hex so that maybe they can get a foot up on tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing in Africa as well. I brought phones and I'm loading them up with Hex and giving them away.
You're giving away laptops too, right?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But I really think that we should try to get Hex Pulse and Pulse Chain out to especially Hex out to the people who don't have that much money as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And actually, I think that should be a priority in the community. Yes, it's the big whales that move the price, and obviously we want to onboard rich people because it'll onboard more people and it'll take the price up. But now we have an opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity, to onboard people who don't have money. Like, you can give even just $100 in sacrifice for Pulse X will probably do a lot for someone who makes $200 a month, like, yeah, just wanted to say that to
it's
listening.
It's up to our community to come together and exercise their ideas and make these tools, resources available. Like I think about things in like graphical diagrams to explain things, because I was trained to do architecture. So we're constantly, thinking about structures and then putting them linearly on a piece of paper, black and white. So when you go from color to black and white only, then you have to get even more descriptive, and then the ideas can less get mixed up because you're so particular about stuff. Everything always has a scale as well. So you're constantly, viewing it up front and then from a different perspective, zoomed out, or maybe in a 3-dimensional. So I just wanted to say that's what is so awesome about the Hex community. If you guys haven't seen this Telegram chat that's called Hex Design, I think that's a pretty interesting place where guys who are really good with graphic arts then go ante up, or people go there and request things like, hey, I've got this image, can y'all make it a Hex thing now? And then so somebody will quickly alter it because their skills. I mean, it's just a really cool thing. It's like going to a website and asking for it's like going to a website and asking for that website to change this image thing to a different image thing file, which I've done a few times because
I love this community, man. Yeah.
And so real fast, in the Hex Foodies Telegram chat, I want to bring people's attention to the pinned messages up at the top. Those are our group ideas as of now. It's on the same topic where these are things that we've thought of. If anybody wants to fill in these gaps, that would be awesome. Hey, John S., thanks for joining us, man. We're almost done with this stream.
Hey, John. Shout out, John. That was a nice comment.
Yeah, this has been a really good stream. Go ahead.
Can you put that link in to the private or the chat thing, please?
Yeah, which you want me to put it into the Telegram chat, or do you want to put it into the YouTube chat? How about both? While I'm at it?
Yep. Hey, I was just thinking about a comment that you just made, or one of the comments you just made about onboarding the disenfranchised. So 90% of my people are kind of mostly disenfranchised. Other than the ones that live back on our tribal lands, The rest are in the cities. Just barely, just the usual 9 to 5 grind. Shit, that's changed around now. It's like 5 to 9. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. But when you're kind of targeting, for want of a better word, the disenfranchised, especially, and this is purely just because of aesthetics, and it's not a bloody racist comment. It's just people are visual, and so if you're wanting to help people, my people with me, you need one of the leaders from their groups to push that message for you, so they'll be speaking on your behalf. And yeah, that's basically it. So like me, for instance, I'll be promoting you guys, because you can really just a Hexican, man. A Hexican when you come across one. You feel them. They think a certain way, talk a certain way. You just know it. You just know when you're in the company of a pure, true Hexican. They speak from their heart. Yeah, man. No doubt. So I can't. It blows me away every day when I wake up to think I'm a part of this community that is like, what the
this worldwide community
makes you crazy. Pardon?
This worldwide community that recognizes that abundance is available and they're willing to forego. They're willing to participate in something, knowing damn well that there's so much more God power that they have here in the future that they don't need to get hung up on the day-to-day stuff. So we're all on that same page of like, yes, I'm willing to participate now. I'm willing to not get anything back today. And a lot of people are like, no, like if I show up, I want to get paid, for my hours worth of work right after I finish that work.
Yeah.
People Walrus got in front of, he's a guy in the community. I believe he's more active on Twitter than he is on the Telegram voice chats. But he got up on stage in Austin, I think it was just this last weekend. He got up on stage during the Crypto Starbuck tour. Crypto Heartbeat also got up on stage, did a great speech, and you can find his Crypto Heartbeat YouTube channel, and you can find his speech there at the end. But what I wanted to say about Walrus is he straight up said, like, you are trading your potential, I guess, for a dollar value, and you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for somebody else. I could have summed that up better, but
no, yeah, I get
rebuttals.
It's true.
Beautiful. It's true. Hey, I was chatting away with I think it was Walrus and Hexican. So we're in this little. I think it might have been on Twitter. Hexican. Yeah, it was so cool because these are the big wigs of the Hex community. The big boys we call it. Well, that's what I call it. And so we're chatting away. I can't remember which chat it was, but it was the Telegram chat. And I don't know if you guys will find it funny, but anyway, I was saying, something along the lines of the cat, the lion, the witch, and the walrus. And what's the next episode? I said, the lion, the walrus, and the chief.
Awesome. Delete the witch and put the chief in there. So John S. talks about Alpha Vedic community. That's awesome, man. Keep reaching out to them. in all honesty, man, you will get better talking about Hex. And then whenever you speak with such excitement and confidence, those people will be jealous. I mean, they want to be involved in a good way, jealous in a good way.
Yeah, that's right. It's not as if you go in there with the intent of making people jealous. It's just a byproduct of awesomeness.
All of us Hexicans hanging out this weekend, we had so much energy, and it was infectious, you know, amongst us. And then also everybody else wanted to know what was up. Like, you know, why are you guys such awesome people that don't have to worry about anything, you know, just one thing to the next. Let's see, we've got Ecstatic Dance Evolution.
What a name.
That's bad. That, man, I love that. EDE.
You're very welcome for the community content. Please, if you haven't already, join the Telegram group. That's t.me/Hex foodies. This is our weekly live stream, group live stream. Everybody's welcome to come on, whether you're a Hexican or not. Let's see. I'm the one that's running the live streams right now. Maybe in the future things will change, but I'm at Central Time, so we're running the live streams at noon Central Time on Tuesdays. Please please subscribe, maybe pass the videos on to other people, let people know what we're doing. We've got like 10 new members, Morton being one of them. And so there's quite a few people who are coming, who have congregated or migrated here or heard about it in the last 10 days, basically 10 people. And they do have potential of each having an episode about them, basically, because they are so heavily involved in things that are related to this channel. So I'm really excited about the progress that we've made with human connections lately. And thanks you guys for being here. Let's go ahead and cut it because it's been an hour and 30 minutes.
Cool, man.
Okay. Blow this out.
I love your setup.
Thanks, man. I invested a little bit recently.
You see
the rest of my walls are not painted, just this back area.
Really?
Yeah, I noticed that you had a hexagon. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's my $2 investment to be one of the in the gang.
Cool. This is the only piece of jewelry that I have on right now, and I bought this 10 years ago, and it just kind of like fits right in line with.
Yeah, it does.
It's a sugar skull, so there's a third eye on it, and it's got flowers all over it. But yeah, it's right in line with our community, in my opinion.
Can you put it right up to the screen?
I don't know if
I see it.
I can also make it to where I'm the only guy, maybe. Nope.
What?
All right, real fast, just for. So some of the designs have it to where this is done by Thomas Wittelsbach, and he'll do this stuff in 3D on the computer and then send it over to the mold manufacturers that are over in Pittsburgh, I believe. And so each one of these is a custom ring. And so some of the later editions, instead of having these voids here, they put jewels inside of them. I don't think those are as attractive. I'm actually thinking about getting this one in gold, just to have fun. But there, let's see, if it is that you want something sort of like what Richard has or Patrick Crypto Starbuck has, where it's like the medallion with like tons of diamonds on it and stuff. There's a guy in Dallas who got those sorts of things made custom for him by this guy. So our Hexican who got his diamond embedded jewelry, with like Hex logo on one side and Pulse logo on the other. He had to pay for the initial molds being made, so you could just get the same size and they wouldn't charge you for those initial molds being made. So just an FYI, because these things do run, you know, like $7,000 sort of things. So I know that's not for everybody, but every once in a while we need to hex flex to show people like this stuff is working. I say need to. I should probably pull that back a little bit, but whenever I'm saying this, I'm literally saying like that energy is infectious. You know, that energy that I pointed out from this weekend, where we're a group of guys, we're having a lot of fun. There were females mixed in, female Hexicans mixed in with the group, and everybody wanted to know like, oh, you know, what are you guys doing? Like, what's the story here? I see y'all have this same logo, and then we just whip out our business cards or whip out our stickers that we had just gotten, because whenever it is that they're doing these tours, they'll provide you with tons of stickers. And then also, I'd like to encourage people to think about making some stationery themselves. Like, I'm making some. I'm a part of HEX Texas group on Telegram, where the Hexican or the Texas Hexicans are initiating conversation for further meetups and things like that. And also this Hex Foodies group, right? So whenever I'm in conversation with people, I can give them a little token to remember the group and to remember to join. So I actually just sent off yesterday to the printer, like, hey, how much will it cost to make business cards of this? So I'm about to have a Hex Foodie business card, and it's only to communicate, you know, like, hey, we're doing this thing. Cool, because we've got like 160 or so members and a little bit less than that with YouTube subscribers. All right, guys, say goodbye.
Thank you again. It's been a blessing.
As
Alrighty.
always, what a pleasure. What a pleasure. Hey, I'm going to speak to you
Absolute
after
pleasure.
we go off here.
Yeah, let me just end the stream. All right, check us out next week at noon Tuesday.
Everybody.
Cheers.
All right, I'm ending it.